Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's movie review show. Now, typically, I have one movie review for you guys. So, seeing as this is the last week of October Horror, I'm going to do my top 5 movies. Now, that being said, these are not in any particular order. And you might ask me, I don't know, next year, October Horror, what's your favorite 5 horror movies? That might change. That's how movies work. So, they're all the same ones. So, again, in no particular order, here is my first one. 1982's The Thing, directed by John Carpenter. Now, this is based on a novel from 1938 known as Who Goes There, written by John Campbell Jr. And in 1951, there was a movie called The Thing from Another World. Um, I haven't seen that one. I've seen bits of it, so I can't really speak on it. But 1982's The Thing. Man, to me that was creepy. It takes place in the Arctic, and these explorers find an alien being. So that's in the synopsis. I don't think I'm giving you any spoilers, even though it's 1982. I hope you have seen it. I mean, it didn't do very well when it first came out in theaters. It didn't do very well in video sales afterwards, but it did start garnishing what they call in the film industry a cult following. So there was a group of people, very large group of people that grew that liked the movie. I mean, they liked it so much that in 2002 there was a PS2 game, video game that came out, and it followed the events right after the ending of the Thing, and also a prequel in 2011, and it picks up right where the original starts. Yes. Yes, it does. One of the things that I love about this movie, and it's going to be the creature effects. I know me and my friend Justin Hamlin from Mangled Matters. So, Justin, if you watch this, just give you a plug. He's a writer for Mangled Matters. He's a great guy. We always talked about the practical effects that they used in this movie. And practical effects is just real physical animatronics and Muppets. Real tangible stuff. And even to this day, it still looks very creepy. I know that it looks kind of plasticky and rubbery, but it just gives the alien a synthetic, unnatural, unhuman look. And I don't believe I've seen anything that CGI can replicate that to this day. And it's a great movie. One of the other things that I found terrifying is that once this alien does what it does, anybody can be the monster under the bed. And it has an underlying premise that if this creature reaches civilization, the world ends. Simple. Watch The Thing from 1982. This movie is phenomenal. It will creep you out. It will give you a lesson in how cold the Arctic is. No, it probably won't. But you can find the very fine acting from Kurt Russell and John Carpenter's terrifying vision of an alien being. So that's it for The Thing. Sound, video quality is amazing. Don't let me say anything further on that. So, moving on. Jeepers Creepers. Now, this was in 2001. Man, that seems like so long ago. This is actually one of my favorite horror movies. And whenever it comes out on television, when I used to watch television, I would stop and I would watch it. I didn't know there was a director, Victor Salva. So, man, that man had some scary chops. And it stars Gina Phillips and Justin Long. They're the two protagonists. And Jonathan Breck. Now, Jonathan Breck plays the monster, the creeper, and a bald cop, which I found kind of invigorating. I'm like, oh, the monster's in there. Not in disguise. It's also a 1938 song. That's interesting. Jeepers Creepers. And it was played by... Well, I can't remember who played the song, but once you hear it in the movie, because they have the song in the movie, you're going to be like, man, that's a good song. The moral of Jeepers Creepers is what terrifies me, which is don't go putting your nose in somebody else's business while you're driving down a Florida highway. Keep driving. Seriously, man. Let's go find out what's going on over there with that guy. Okay. We'll turn the car around. Oh, man. Thing. Just give me the chills thinking about that, the creeper. Now, the creeper later in the folklore, you find out that he hunts every 23rd spring for 23 days. And he uses fear pheromones. I guess he can smell out people's fear. And if he finds something suitable in that person, he'll take them. I don't want to give away too much, but this is scary because he's kind of unstoppable. And there's one great scene at a police station. That's all I want to say. I think it's an underrated movie. It doesn't have the following that many do. This does have a sequel, by the way. In 2003, there was a sequel to it. And there is a 2017 third film coming out. And from the rumors, Gina Phillips is reprising her role as Miss Trish. Other than that, it's unsure when it's coming out. But apparently filming is done on it. Or they're finishing it. From creepy monster to creepy music to a beautiful swampy setting, rundown churches, underground passageways. I mean, the list just goes on. An unstoppable creeper. Jeepers Creepers makes the list, especially with the haunting song. Once you hear that song, you're not going to get it out of your head. So it's another good one to watch. And moving on. Oh, this is my personal favorite horror movie. I'm gonna do Dr. Evil horror movie. Shaun of the Dead from 2004. This is an Edgar Wright film, and he's a director. Edgar Wright's the director, and it's written by both Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. And this is one of the three films that they did together, along with Nick Frost, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. Those are the other films by them. And this movie is hilarious. Not so much scary, but just kind of it gives a view on our society through zombies, and it's brilliantly written. The dialogue is very smart. I actually didn't realize how smart Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg were until I watched the documentary, the actor-director commentary. And one of the scenes, they explained that one of the characters, I don't want to give anything out because it's kind of fun if you figure it out or if you're watching, you're like, oh, okay. One of the scenes, one of the characters gives away what's going to happen during the zombie apocalypse, word by word. And you're like, and he's saying it, he's like, and this means that. And it's like, oh my God, that totally means that. He literally just said what's going to happen the next scene or the next day. And, just clever dialogue, those Brits. Speaking of because it's a British movie, it was actually nominated for a BAFTA. I don't believe it won. And BAFTA is a British Academy of Film and TV Arts Award. So it did make a nomination for that. And I don't know, maybe it's just me because I find them funny. But Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, kind of bumbling idiots. They're average Joes for the most part. I knew a lot of people that I know. If you don't understand British humor, there's some pieces that you might not understand, but if you watch like BBC or the Top Gear, not America, but Top Gear, the British one, the old school Top Gear, or you watch Doctor Who or anything that's British, this movie has a lot of that humor kind of thrown into it, and a lot of cameos from British actors. It's comedy gold, with an undertone of the apocalypse. Highly recommended. That's actually my top film that I would recommend out of the 5 that I'm talking about. Maybe. So. Oh, and the music. Perfect use of music. The intro. Watch it, and then think back of the original Dawn of the Dead. Now, next up on the list, this is number 4. The Conjuring. And that film is from 2013. It's directed by James Wan. I did a review for The Conjuring 2. It stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. I always kill her name, sorry. And it is the story of a cursed land in Rhode Island. Now, I know you guys are probably like, why does he look down? I have notes, so I gotta keep looking at them. And it's the haunting, I guess, took place, so the movie takes place in 1971. And it's, again, one of the real life cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Those are two paranormal investigators. She's a medium, and he's kind of works for the Catholic Church as a demonologist. So you know stuff about demons and spirits. Yeah. Again, this is one of the first movies next to Insidious that made me realize, man, horror movies can be smart. They can be well written. They can be well paced, and they don't have to have buttloads of gore and scares. Just subtle enough to keep you entertained and keep your mind moving. And I think that's what it is. The little monkey in my head has to keep turning the gears I watch the movie in order for me to be entertained. And a lot of times, those movies take me out from either cheesy special effects or cheap one-liners. I'm not talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger's, so stick around. And the acting, again, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, just awesome actors. And I don't even know the names of the side characters in the movie or the main family that's being tormented. But I think their performance always feels elevated when these two are on the screen. So The Conjuring, it's another modern classic of American horror film. And you should definitely watch that. Take my word for it. Now, lastly, I have, last on my list, is the one I have the least information from a technical aspect on, is The Descent. And that one was also based on a novel by Jeff Long, and it is from 2005. And it's also one of those British horror movies. This movie is about 6 women that go spelunking. So they go like in the underground caves to explore. And they go to a cave. And they were exploring. And it gets really dark down there. And these caves are terrifying. And I find that the real monster in here is the environment. Now, there's monsters in this movie. So, spoiler alert. No. I'm pretty sure they described that in the synopsis of the movie. Like, if you look in the back of the DVD. But what they don't tell you is that the actual environment, the actual cave, and what these women traverse through the end of the movie, it's really the monster. I mean, the dark cave, the sharp edges, the tight corridors, the poorly lit corridors, because obviously you can imagine their little flashlights ain't gonna last forever. Just give me the chills thinking of one scene where this girl's like, I couldn't even do it. I mean, I'm way too wide, but she's like crawling through, and her arm is like, and it's through a cave, and it's just horrifying, and her little lights going off, and you hear stuff in the back, and you don't know if it's them imagining it, because the dark makes you imagine things. And again, another example of a movie that does not use gore to scare you, but it uses the visuals of storytelling to make you fear what's in the dark. And it's directed, by the way, by Neil Marshall. Should probably say that because he did excellent use of a studio. They actually didn't go in a cave. They built a studio. They figured it would be too dangerous to go film in tight corridors and underground caves. And just thinking about it just kind of like gives you the willies. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to get stuck in a cave ever. I don't ever go spelunking. I don't want to find like ancient people that eat other people. So those are my top 5. Out of those, definitely the British movies, The Descent and Shaun of the Dead are 2 of my favorite ones. Conjuring is probably the newest one in my list, and it is also one of the best movies. I'm just waiting for the day that James Wan gets an Oscar nomination. I mean, once he gets his shot at like a Oscar contender type movie, and you know the kinds I'm talking about. I think Mr. Wan is going to be doing just fine. So those are my top 5. What are your top 5? So let's do a quick recap. We have The Descent. We have Jeepers Creepers, Shaun of the Dead, The Thing, and The Conjuring. So let me know what you think of any of those movies. Maybe there's one that you don't like from my list. You're like, oh, dude, what are you thinking? Conjuring sucks, or something like that. I don't know. Nobody ever says that. But Anyway, let me know what you guys think. That was my quick synopsis. I think I'm already at the 15-minute mark. Um, so if you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to tell me what your top 5 are, that'd be great. Actually, I want to hear what your top 5 are, or your top 10, or your top 3, whatever. Let me know what your horror movies are and what you're going to be watching this Halloween in the comment section below. Okay? So until next time, guys, have a happy, safe Halloween.